to the IOM America Broadcast Network. Number 32, IZ Culture, Toxic Work, by Dr. Stephen Phinney. Many Gen Z workers feel dismissed or undervalued in traditional workplaces. Why is that? Gen Z enters the workforce not with naivete, but with a prophetic sensitivity to injustice. Is this possible? A generation under siege. They are not merely complaining, they are discerning, smart, and intuitive. Gen Z's digital reflexes aren't just habits, they're adaptations. Raised in a world of endless scrolling, this generation has developed an uncanny ability to process information rapidly, filter relevance from noise, and navigate complex digital ecosystems with ease. Their compulsive screen engagement has trained them to multitask, decode visual cues, and absorb cultural shifts in real time. While critics call it a distraction, Gen Z turns it into discernment, learning to spot trends, injustices, and opportunities faster than any generation before. Yeshua sees not just the screen time, but the searching hearts behind it, longing for truth, connection, and purpose in a world that rarely slows down. This makes them smarter than their bosses, and they know it. Their lament over toxic work environments, especially micromanagement and disrespect, reflects a deeper spiritual cry. Where is the dignity of labor? Where is the image of God in the workplace? This generation, often dismissed as fragile or entitled, is in fact bearing witness to a system that has lost its soul. Their discomfort is not always rebellion, it is a shout out for justice in the workplace. The Pharaohic spirit of control. Micromanagement is not just poor leadership, it is a symptom of a deeper bondage. It reflects the spirit of Pharaoh, who demanded bricks without straw, Exodus 5 verses 7-9, crushing the Israelites under the weight of impossible expectations. Biblical parallel, Pharaoh's oversight was not about productivity, it was about control. Gen Z feels this same spirit in workplaces that monitor every move, stifle creativity, and reduce workers to metrics. Spiritual consequence, such environments breed anxiety, burnout, and a loss of identity. They violate the principle of stewardship, replacing trust with tyranny. Do not be like the rulers of the Gentiles who lord it over them, Matthew 20 verse 25. Gen Z isn't just tech savvy, they're redefining productivity, but many bosses haven't caught up. Despite being the most digitally fluent generation, Gen Z workers often face skepticism from older managers who misinterpret their work styles as laziness or entitlement. In reality, these young professionals excel in rapid information processing, creative problem solving, and adapting to new technologies with ease, frequently before their bosses are finished explaining the task. Research shows that productivity gaps often stem not from Gen Z's shortcomings but from leadership's failure to understand their strengths and needs. When managers dismiss Gen Z's desire for purpose, flexibility, and mentorship, they miss out on a workforce that's not only smart, but deeply motivated to make a meaningful impact. The real challenge isn't Gen Z's capability, it's the workplace's readiness to receive it. Lack of respect, the erosion of Imago Dei. To disrespect a worker is to dishonor the image of God in them. Gen Z's complaint is not merely about tone or treatment, it is about being seen. We're not lazy, we're just tired of being underestimated. Gen Zers often feel dismissed by older generations who equate youth with incompetence. In reality, they are frequently more competent than their supervisors. Despite being highly adaptive, tech-savvy, and socially conscious, they're frequently labeled as entitled or difficult, especially in professional settings where traditional norms clash with their values of flexibility, purpose, and authenticity. We must respect Gen Z's existing abilities because they are not merely potential, they are already producing impact. This generation has grown up navigating complex digital landscapes, absorbing global perspectives, and adapting to rapid change with remarkable agility. To overlook their skills is to ignore a workforce fluent in innovation, collaboration, and cultural intelligence. Respecting their abilities means recognizing that they don't need to grow into relevance, they're already shaping it. As one expert notes, Gen Z thrives when given voice and value in the workplace, not just tasks. Managers today must adopt a biblical model. Genesis mandate: humanity was created to work in partnership with God. Genesis 2 verse 15. When employers treat workers as disposable, they violate this divine design. Prophetic insight: Gen Z's demand for respect is a call to restore the Edenic dignity of labor. They are asking, do you see me as a soul, or just a tool? Masters, treat your bondservants justly and fairly, knowing that you also have a master in heaven. Colossians 4 verse 1, a prophetic call to reform. Gen Z's frustration is not a threat, it is a trumpet. They are calling for workplaces that reflect the kingdom of God, places of justice, creativity, rest, and mutual honor. Fact: Gen Z is rising as the next generation called to interpret the prophecies of the Lord, not with speculation, but with spirit-led discernment. Born into a world of chaos, deception, and digital noise, they carry a unique sensitivity to truth, justice, and spiritual urgency. The same screens that flood them with distraction have also exposed them to global suffering, moral collapse, and the signs of the times. God is awakening a remnant within Gen Z, young watchmen and women who will not only read the word but rightly divide it, proclaiming end-times truths with boldness, clarity, and conviction. They are not the future church, they are the church now, and the Lord is stirring them to speak what many fear to say. So, we must pay attention. Restoration vision: imagine a workplace where leaders shepherd rather than dominate, where feedback is given with grace, and where labor is seen as worship. Cultural challenge: the church must disciple employers and employees alike to reject Pharaoh's model and embrace Christ's servant leadership. Gen Z's complaints are valid, but they are also a commission. The Spirit is stirring them to be reformers, not just reactors. Their sensitivity to injustice is a gift, not a flaw. Let the church rise to affirm their discernment, equip them with biblical truth, and send them into the marketplace as ambassadors of dignity. Let the oppressed go free, and break every yoke. Isaiah 58 verse 6. Millennial bosses, though once hailed as disruptors, can now be surprisingly resistant to change, especially when challenged by Gen Z's bold, adaptive mindset. While Gen Z workers thrive on innovation, flexibility, and purpose-driven work, many millennial managers have settled into inherited corporate norms and struggle to embrace the radical shifts Gen Z demands. Studies show that productivity gaps often stem from leadership's unwillingness to evolve, not from Gen Z's lack of capability. The irony? Yesterday's rebels have become today's gatekeepers, and Gen Z is knocking with fresh vision and prophetic urgency. It would behoove us to change this. We encourage you to share this message with family and loved ones. Until next time.